This is C.R.P.H.A, Humanitarian and Citizen Advocate. Video today is a fairly interesting one, I'd say, possibly, depending on the person, and possibly also your interest, possibly as well, and the how deeply you want information too. Anyway, um, many things have been going on with this particular pandemic, and you can call it speculation or speculative, or you can call it actuality. That the numbers of people in the Orient have been saying, it's been said that the number of people in the Orient have been saying that this COVID-19 thing, the COVID-19 or pandemic generally, is a fake, phony disease. Plus, what I've said before in the video of C.R.P.H.A. A number of weeks back, I'm sure, um, is that with the fact that we've had triple-digit temperatures in the state of California, as well as Arizona, as well as many other states, and maybe a double digit of 80, between 90 some odd degrees in other states, and if you've had a more than a prominent week of that, maybe more than a prominent week, and maybe more than say 2 weeks, especially the strain that supposedly came into the U.S. was weak. Okay, now with the weak strain, with triple-digit temperatures in California, Arizona, what have you, and maybe and more than a prominent 1 to 2 week in other states of 90-degree temperatures, the strain is dead. The media, however, starting with NBC, CBS, CNN, the cable news one anyway, that used to be supportive of the Republicans, now the supportive of the and kiss ass of the Democrats, and many others of the media. I've said this before. The FCC has a contract with each and every one of them. They only can say so fucking much. And I'm saying this calmly here. You know that. I say things calmly all the time on these on C.R.P.H.A videos. But the media is only able to say so fucking much. That's what it comes where I come into play, where I can tell you more from what I've analyzed and researched, from even watching the news, if I do at all, or even if I see it online or whatever, right? The basic fact is this: the media has made it, especially the liberal, most of all the liberal media actually, as well as CNN, has blown this fucking pandemic bullshit to absurdum, ridiculous, way beyond ridiculous proportions and levels and percentages, and yet they think they're doing something in a positive, beneficial by informing the public, by dramatizing it. No, you media idiots. KCRA3, KPIX5, fucking Cron 4, fucking uh, you know, CBS 13, KOVR 13 essentially. Any number of other ones that are connected to CBS, ABCs, and NBC in the U.S., in the East and Central Midwest and Central East Coast, and major East Coast area states. and even the ones before the states get close to the where the Atlantic Ocean is touching the one part of the plate. Um, each one of those states, even the ones before the Atlantic Ocean, have had those type of fucking liberal media stations blowing up this fucking shit while metaphorically and secretly kissing Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer's ass. And here's the other part of it too. When the aspect of when I mentioned earlier in this video, just about a few minutes ago now, that the Orient's been saying that this whole pandemic thing is a fake disease, a phony disease type of thing, right? The as our stock percentages in the U.S. have kind of gotten at a slant, going down, but not shot down essentially like it did in 1929, but it's going down at a particular pace. But with this COVID-19 thing, with the pandemic again, the Orient's stock percentages have gone up with this pandemic, with this whole thing going on of the pandemic, and it's being lagged on, carried on by the liberal Democrats, fucking orchestrated by the liberal Democrats, saying something that's already dead. The fucking strain is dead, but they want people to believe the damn thing's still around. And I've said this also before in the other videos of C.R.P.H.A. is that the basic fact is you can call this, and I even talked to a security guard over at one of the banks down the street from where I'm at. And that is that you can call this simply just a precaution of saying, okay, like, do not sneeze or cough in people's faces. An additional precaution, even aside from the precaution that has been happening several centuries before this COVID-19 pandemic things ever came into focus. So basically, the liberal media is doing the mental aspects of the human mind to the American people. Manipulation is a sin. Mental manipulation is a sin, Nancy Pelosi. Mental manipulation of the American people is a sin, Chuck Schumer. Thereby, the Democrats need to fucking face facts that the strain that came into the fucking U.S. here that it was a weak strain. Therefore, the more than 90-degree weather temperatures and triple-digit temperatures within the United States. It could be in various states or a number of states all in the same category, if you will, or in the same line or what have you. But the basic fact is the strain of the fucking COVID-19 pandemic virus is dead. It was a weak strain in the fucking beginning when it first entered the U.S., or so-called entered the U.S., and now it's dead. The liberal media needs to realize this shit. The fucking liberal Democrats, the socialist dumbass liberal Democrats who are doing the mental manipulation, along with Gavin Newsom needs to realize this, and every liberal Democrat in every state needs to realize this, that the weak strain is dead. Quit mentally manipulating the American people. You want just to. This is in a way also. This is also seen to many people as a test to see how far and how long they can carry this fucking bullshit out to control us like fucking minions, like to control the American people like minions. When and if the Democrats ever get their chance of turning this country into a socialist country. Which basically I've even told the security guard over at the bank down from where I'm at, I told him it's simply the fucking fact that the liberal Democrats want to fucking put this whole thing into where our rights and freedoms are taken away. Our human rights in the sense of the positive way of life. It would be like the Hitler regime before and during World War II, along with the aspect of concentration camps, possibly, but more of a stay-at-home aspect, possibly. In if you don't agree with the democratic bullshit socialism, fucking operations and shit like that. Their ways of operating and controlling and completely conquest, and more than a major fucking conquest over the United States and our rights and the American people all in one, including our youth. That is also a sin, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Gavin Newsom and Darrell Steinberg and every other ass fucking liberal, socialist, dumbass Democrat, even Joe Biden. You should know this as well. And Obama knows this, but he's too fucking weak and too fucking scared to fucking tell the American people the truth. Because, as I've said, the liberal Democrats don't want to tell the American people the truth because they might lose support in voting and other aspects. The one thing that the liberal Democrats don't know, and I thank Heavenly Father that the Republicans, both conservative, moderate, and regular Republicans, have noticed this. Fine. That if you keep on bullshitting the American people on anything on and about anything or towards anything or anything like that, right? You're not getting. It's going to be a hell of a long time actually before you get any type of backing or support from the American people on anything, with anything, especially when it comes to the base of the fucking voting for that one particular party. The liberal Democrats have lost the focus of that. The fucking liberal Democrats think that they can get a step above the Republicans by bullshitting the American people, by lying to the American people, by hiding what's really going on, and telling instead of telling the American people the truth, they're bullshitting fucking left and right the American people on every little thing that they think they can get away with. And they think, again, and I said before this before as well, the liberal fucking socialist Democrats think that we are brainless brainless automatons, that we can't think for ourselves, we cannot do anything without their support. The one thing is, before the whole base of the government came into play, and this was in 1716 and 1500s and 1800s, before it was fully established, that everybody was able to do what they felt was right for them and their families and their children. They didn't need the support of the government. They didn't need the support of and saying whether if they're doing something right. They would learn for themselves. That's the part in a spiritual sense. Pardon me. That's the part in the spiritual sense is why we're on this fucking planet. In the spiritual sense, we are on this planet to learn. We're not on this planet to be freaked out to the points of death, demise, and stress, and of every other thing that the liberal Democrats know that they're doing in the sense of mental manipulation. But they don't want people to realize that's what they're doing by carrying this bullshit on, and the liberal media is fucking going along with this bullshit horseplay. And the liberal media thinks that they're doing something right. The media in general thinks they're doing something right. even by dramatizing shit left and right. They're not. And I don't care if Nancy Pelosi wants to come up to me or up to where I'm at and tell me her fucking piece. I'll tell her straight up. Guess what? I don't give a shit what you say. You just don't want to fucking face the real truth. I'm a strong spiritual person. I care about the American people and our youth. And I care about this country and what that flag stands for. Nancy Pelosi obviously lost that aspect. And Chuck Schumer also lost that aspect. Fucking Gavin Newsom lost that aspect. Fucking Daryl Steinberg. Every fucking liberal democratic jackass bitch and idiot has lost that aspect of truly being honest with the American people. And yet, I know after this video, you might hear, "Oh, this time we're being honest with the American people. This party has learned this lesson by a number of naysayers and this and that." That ain't gonna solve anything. The basic fact is that yes, I'm speaking my mind. Yes, I'm saying what has not been said. I've been doing that for years, even before I became a fucking advocate. And I'm going to keep doing it, regardless if the liberal Democrats like it or not. I can give a damn. We are not on this planet to live for the Democrats. We're to live for ourselves and learn for ourselves and within ourselves. And our youth, our children are not, as we all know already, that children are not asked. They don't ask to come into this world, right? But when they do, we have the responsibility as parents to teach them the best way we can. Our education system, as weak and poor as it is in the U.S. right now, is supposed to help us educate our youth. In some way they have, in some way they haven't. And some way they're bureaucracies due to the liberal socialist bullshit, the democratic policies within the system. We don't need democratic fucking mind altering, fucking mind manipulation type of shit in this country. That was already done by the many people in Germany and England during the Hitler regime. We don't need that in this country. We don't want that in this country. The liberal Democrats need to realize that shit. And if they can't, then they can be replaced. And with that, they can easily be put in the depths of hell spiritually. And also, they can also be taken out and resanctioned as a Green Party or Independent Party. And if we had the same fucking idiots in those particular parties, they're gonna have to readjust, whether they want to or not, and start being truthful to the American people. In fact, they should be truthful to the American people now. They should have been truthful to the American people in the fucking beginning, even before Nancy Pelosi became leader and the Speaker of the House. But they think they have it easy. They don't. They think they have the support of the people. They don't. The media is losing support of the American people because of this bullshit. And because they keep on dramatizing shit instead of loads of good news, like News 10 says, we do good news stories from time to time. Why not do good news fucking shit all the fucking time? Quit dramatizing shit. Quit making things sound so horrific like it's fucking like life or death aspects when a number of times it's not. Oh, wait a minute. The liberal media won't get any funding from the liberal side of the government if they don't dramatize shit, don't right? If they don't make things sound so horrific when it's really not that horrific, right? And even if it's not that harmful or life changing or life affecting negatively, or that is, right? Is that's the whole worry about the liberal media is that they won't get funding from the liberal side of the fucking government. That's why they do this shit. That's why the American people are gradually showing more than frustration and annoyance from the liberal media blowing up shit left and right, even with this particular pandemic. When again we've had more than record triple digit to double digit high temperatures that are more than sufficient enough to kill this weak strain, the weak strain that came into the U.S. The one other thing too, Gavin Newsom and maybe a moderate to large number of the Democrats have stock in the Orient, so they're banking in the bucks, and they could be banking in the bucks over this particular so-called pandemic that they're carrying on and lagging and pulling through as far as they think they can get it. That's majorly disrespectful to this country and the American people. And the liberal Democrats, even Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the other idiot Democrats, even Joe Biden need to realize this. If they don't, Joe Biden won't be in the office of the White House. And he's already ruined his chances already by by stating a racial statement that he did about a week or two ago or so during his campaign speeches. And it was posted on one of the East Coast um, stations on Facebook of what he said, and he was racial about it. And I've said many times, and I'm gonna say it, and I would even say it directly to Joe Biden's face, and I'd be like, I respect you as a person, but your political policies have not changed, Joe Biden. Therefore, I don't see them changing even if you were in the White House. And also, we don't need a fucking racist jackass of a president in any party. And if you want to judge Trump, you're judging the wrong person. Start judging yourself and your party because they're the ones that are in the wrong. You are in the wrong. And I'd even mention when he was vice president too, of what he should have done, but he didn't do, in which made it harder to make it because the economy was going down in the Obama administration with Joe Biden in the VP office setting and seat. He could have made it to where it didn't happen. No, nope. He just followed anything that Obama said, and he just went along with it like a little lap dog, all the while kissing the Democrats in the House, their asses essentially. You might as well lapped up the shit from the Democrats in the House, Biden. If you're gonna be kissing the fucking Democrats' ass in the sense of following their socialist actions and agendas, There's so much going on in this world, even today, that it should have been abolished years ago. More than years ago. Should have been abolished centuries ago. Even after Martin Luther King, it should have been gone. But due to a number of issues and situations and what have you else, is that and also when it comes to shall we say emotional hatred, due to, say, if one was done wrong by a particular race, then there's a base of racial indignations and hate and violence and such like that. We don't need that anymore. We should be better than that. In fact, I know we are better than that. We need to show that we are better than that. We can't just say it. I know I'm better than that. I've shown it. Aside from the fact that I was raised never to be racial, I haven't been raised racial against any race at all. I support everybody, regardless of race, ethnicity, culture, the whole enchilada. I consider everybody equal. Everybody's a human being. Everybody's to be respected, regardless of differences, especially. If you're not able to, you're going to have to learn how to, in order to make it into this world, in order to survive and succeed in the world, even if today. You hear rattling, my fan's on. I was out in the heat, 90-degree heat or so, whatever it was now. I say this because I care about everybody on this planet. I say this because I've been saying a lot of things on these C.R.P.H.A videos over the course of a number of weeks and years. Is because I know it to be true. Whether you want to believe it or not is up to you. But the one thing is, what I say is that you need to realize, we all need to realize many, many different things. In order to make it, we need to start respecting each other, regardless of race, creed, ethnicity, culture, religion, belief, the whole enchilada there as well, right? And also the base of, you know, what people call color, but instead of calling them human beings, regardless, right? The other numbers of human beings anyway. We need to show. We could easily go to the points of showing the liberal Democrats we are better than they think that we are. We are better than what they take us for. We can't just go idly by and expect them to decide for us. We cannot allow the liberal Democrats to decide for us what is best and what is not. It is our duty as American people, within for ourselves as well as for our families and children, to decide what's best and why. But as long as it's a strong positive thing with no harming to anybody else, not even ourselves. No negative emotional tearing down or manipulation or any other degradation or anything else for that matter. That's negative. With this, I know we could do a lot better than what the liberal Democrats have done. A lot better than what they think of us. It is up to us. not only as a single human being of our own, but as a combined population of citizens within this country. Not only in support of what this flag stands for, but also to support our rights and freedoms and American way of life and the base of humanity as well, even the future for ourselves as well as for our children. We need to show also. We can also show along the way. We don't want lies, deception, mind and manipulation done by the media or the liberal Democrats all in one. We deserve to be told the truth, whether they should, even if they deem it so or not. Everybody deserves to hear the truth, whether the liberal Democrats feel they should tell us the truth or not. It's not up to them. If they cannot, if the liberal Democrats in the media don't tell us the damn truth, and they want to keep on dramatizing shit to the points of mind manipulation, they will be judged for it. They will most certainly, in a spiritual sense, most certainly go into the pits of hell, or the depths of hell, if you want to say it that way too, for being such of a fucking sinner. Yes, we all sin. That's a given. We're imperfect beings spiritually, but in Heavenly Father's eyes, we are all perfect. But we are not perfect in the sense of thinking that we are better than any other person, regardless of how much we make or the way we live or anything else for that matter, or even our positions in employments, whether it's political or not, whether it's governmental or not. We do what we have to do to survive, to keep ourselves and our families and our youth safe. But as long as it doesn't go to the points of harming anybody, unless someone tries to harm us. But we cannot go, well, he or she's trying to harm me, I'm trying to harm him, when really they're not trying to harm us. Of course, unless they are trying to harm us, that's a whole different thing. But if they're not, if that's not their intent, then, I know many people are probably wondering, why am I saying, what's my meaning or reason for it? If the fact that I'm saying this because I know it to be true is not enough, and I know what I say is an actuality, is not enough. And the fact that I'm saying this because I care about every one of you American people. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, doesn't matter what ethnicity or culture you are or religious belief you have. If that's not enough, then something is definitely wrong though. And I'm not judging them, because the basic fact is I'm not saying this because I care about everybody on this planet, everybody who lives in the U.S., everybody of one of our every one of our allies. In a spiritual sense, I can also say that I care about those who hate us, only in a spiritual sense. But in a spiritual sense, I can pray for that those who hate us will learn never to hate us. That of its own is up to Heavenly Father to to work through. To make it more than possible. That also goes with a person's agency as well. Spiritual agency. The fact of it is that my father, as a Marine, fought for what that flag stands for, and for what the Constitution stands for, and whatnot else, and says even even for what our forefathers have done for our freedoms and rights and American way of life, and much much more, and to keep us safe and more than well defended. And I know every other troop in the armed forces and in every level of the military has done that from even after the Revolutionary War, even during the Revolutionary War, even during World War One and Two, and the Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan's war, the Desert Storm, the war after 9/11. And I support and I salute those troops who have died and who have been able to come home. I thank you for your service and for your extreme more than effort to keep us safe and much, much more. The basic fact is also the liberal media needs to either take heed to what I say or completely get off the fucking air. Because we don't want to be lied to. We don't need to hear horrific shit after horrific shit after horrific shit when it's not that horrific to where they literally dramatize it like we're in a fucking soap opera. We're not living in the base of the As the World Turns and the Young and the Restless and the fucking General Hospital and the All My Children type of drama bullshit. Where everything's like oh my goodness, oh my, oh, I wonder what he's thinking, or wonder what she's thinking, I wonder I wonder what's gonna happen next. Come on, life is not a game of cards. Life is not life is a chance in some respect, but we all take chances in anything and everything. But the base of life, the way it's being treated right now, is very sinful. Even the way it's been treated, the way the American people are being treated by the liberal Democrats is very sinful. The way we are being informed by the liberal media is very sinful. And I don't blame the American people for being more than fed up with the fucking liberal media dramatizing shit left and right and not finding one piece, not even one large increment of good news. Everything has to be with the liberal media. Everything has to be fucking all negative. Everybody has to be scared. We can't live a normal, peaceful life, a calm life without worrying about whether if we're gonna die or not. Right? We have to be always fearful of every little fucking thing. Not go to the points to where we know there's certain things we should have to worry about. But we don't have to live in fear. But the liberal media and the liberal Democrats want us to live in fear. And I am not for that at all. And I do not support that at all. if I really wanted to, and if I was given the permission to, even by the law itself, I would fucking punch the shit out of Nancy Pelosi and punch the shit out of fucking Chuck Schumer and tell them to fucking straighten their fucking asses up. And I would do the same thing to Gavin and Jerry Brown. Quit fucking trying to mind manipulate the American people to your fucking levels of now we have what we want, even though it's not a socialist country. We're using socialist actions and attributes against the American people to where they will listen to us and do what we tell them to do because they can't think for themselves. That's the whole aspect of the liberal Democrats. Many people don't realize. They're not even saying it outright. They're saying it in closed doors with a group of those who support the fucking bullshit. And that's got to be put to a stop. More than a halt, more than obliteration levels. Or the liberal Democrats will be no more. The party can be reaffirmed into the independent party or the Green Party. And more often than not very many, if any, of those same candidates that are in the Democratic Party seats that they have now would ever be able to be in the same seats ever again. There's a moderate to high probability that a number of them, if any of them, would be in the same seats or different seats ever again, with the party being reaffirmed from Democrat to independent or green parties. Everybody who has any true knowledge, not judging, but anybody who has knowledge about the whole aspect knows I'm right. So if KCRA3, any liberal media wants to interview me, hey, be my guest. You want to ask me any number of questions of why I say the shit that I've said? Or the things that I've said? I'll tell you straight out. Like it or not, I don't give a damn. This is America. We can say what we want as long as it doesn't go against any base of racial bullshit. As long as it's not racist. As long as it doesn't go towards the base of harming people. Because violence doesn't really solve a damn thing anyway. We're told this as children. We're told that part of it at least, that violence doesn't solve a damn thing. We're told that as children, seriously. Of course, we're told a lot of other things as children too, but each one has its different ways of raising each one of us, right? But of course, after a while, when we get to the points of independence, then we go on our own and learn in our own way, in our own speed, and what have you, right? In our and on our own actions and levels and manners and whatnot. When we become independent, even while we're dealing with our on the other aspect of adolescence of other children as we grow to adulthood, and even as adults, we do it's the same thing. But the one thing is, we still have even a moderation of adolescence within us, psychologically. And it's better to not use it to the points of stupidity and absurdity and ignorant levels and stupid, illogical levels. I'm saying this not in judgment, not in hate, nor nothing like that. But the basic fact is, we can we can teach the Democrats a thing or two to show them that we are not weak-minded people. We don't need we're not going to deal with their mind manipulation, their fucking mind control bullshit, especially when it comes to this pandemic. When the basic like I said, when the basic fact is that the weak strain has been dead, well, weeks ago. Even if you had 90-degree temperatures straight through for maybe more than a week, it's dead. The damn strain of the so-called COVID-19 pandemic virus is dead. There's no reason to wear masks anymore. There's no reason to wear gloves anymore. But you can say, as I've said before in one of my other videos of C.R.P.H.A, is do not cough or sneeze in people's faces. And also, there's no reason to be 6 feet away from each other when this whole entire every city and state didn't have that constructed on the sidewalks and where there's practically no streets for the vehicles or the light rail system and trains and planes and such like that. Each county and each city has where people are able to be like this, walking by each other. Not not to the points of rubbing against each other though, but like this. Not because if we go like this all the time, then half one of us is walking on the street, nearly risking our lives. We don't need to do that. Like I said, the pandemic is dead. The fucking strain is dead. Whether the liberal Democrats want us to believe that or not is not really in the factor anymore. They're going to have to realize that it is dead. They can't be making us think that it's still around when it's not. And also, the other thing, though, too, is that there's a particular vaccine that many people have heard about and more than well aware that that Johnson and Johnson and various other companies are trying to come out with and to prevent this so-called pandemic, which is, like I said, this weak strain is dead. Nobody wants to get injected with any fucking bullshit thing that they don't really need. But the government wants us to believe otherwise. I can just say this on one part of it. I can hope that the Republicans don't follow the same creed when it comes to that point. Of course, they may be going by what the people are being told by the liberal media, thereby they're following the same aspect of our beliefs, our understandings of what we're being told by the liberal media, even as they dramatize the shit, trying to use various levels of scare tactics, illogical and sinful scare tactics, I might add. There's no need for it. We're not in that. we're not in a desperate base of where it goes to the points of more than chemical warfare. I'm not saying we can. I'm not saying that it has ever gone towards that way, and almost to the major completion. Um, I could say this is that during the creation of the atom bomb, there was always scare of that. And when it came to chemical warfare and in the beginning of the creation of the atom bomb, there was always there was always fear and speculation of that back then, way back when, essentially. But we don't have that now. We will never have that, as far as I can see right now, anyway. And if we do, and if the liberal Democrats try to fucking make it to where we go back to that same fucking fear factor, then guess what? That will also show of how less they think of us and how less they care about the American people and this country and our youth, and how much more they want to be us as a fucking voice shit while they're in their little seats of protection in office. Regardless of the position and the labeling of the position. The basic fact is, if the liberal media doesn't quit the shit of dramatizing and going going on various different more than a rampage of fucking scare tactic after scare tactic of making people fear that they have to live in fear and all this other shit of every other negative and sinful bullshit, then guess what? I can easily contact the FCC, and every one of you can contact the FCC and get these liberal idiots off the air. Even if it goes from one area reporter to the news desk reporters, a person at a time, to the point where the whole entire news station is completely empty. That can happen. We have that God-given right within the Constitution to do so. We have the God-given right within the Constitution to do the same thing to the Democratic Party. We have the God-given right to do it to any part of and level of government, no matter what. And I say we start fucking showing we can do much more than what they believe that we can do and that we know. That doesn't mean going to the points of protest by destroying public and private properties. It doesn't go that way. No, we can protest. We can go to the points of going beyond our congressmen, going beyond Nancy Pelosi's head, over even over every other idiot's head in the House and in the Senate. And believe me, it can be done. It will show that it will show one the liberal Democrats as well as the socialist fucking liberal media that we will not be lied to and told to live in fear anytime they see fit to start. Just so they can put out a story out there just to fucking make us feel that we have to live in fear and stress out. Because they know stress fucking shortens lives. That's why people start smoking. That's why people do other shit. And the media by dramatizing and trying to tell people to live in fear constantly is not helping, and it hasn't ever helped anyone in any century for any reason. So the liberal media of every channel in the NBC, ABC to start with, and CBS, and CNN, and the other liberal news informations, even within KQED and PBS, need to realize this shit. Even the fucking idiots of Face the Nation and Meet the Press need to realize this shit too. Whether they want to or not, they're gonna have to. And I will make sure that we all as American people can make sure. And that's the truth. If you have any questions, if you want me to talk about more, please let me know. If you have any topic, please let me know on the comment section below. Or on one of my pages of C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian and C.R.P.H.A. Citizen Advocate as well on Facebook. This is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian Citizen Advocate. Thank you, Donald J. Trump and Mike Pence, for your service, and I will vote for you again for 2020. And I salute our troops, even for those who have not been able to come back home. But I salute you and I support you and I thank you for your service. And those who were able to come home to their families, I still salute you and thank you for your service. And to our veterans that fought in the past wars, even the homeless vets, I thank you for your service. This is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian Advocate. Please stay safe, stay strong, and know Heavenly Father and our Savior is always with us, even if we don't feel it or see it, and we don't have to be religious, and we don't have to be churchgoers, but they will always be with us. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.